Hello Sagittarius, welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back. For those of you who are new, welcome. I am Nicole. Sag, it's been a while, huh? I know, it's been a minute. I'm so sorry for all the delays. I needed to take some time. I needed a reprieve. I had a lot of things going on and happening, so I just want to say thank you to everybody who's stuck around and been patient, getting back to my grind and what I do. So thank you for all your love and support and hanging out with me while I took time for me, for what I needed to do, right? So I'm going to adjust this camera just a smidge, bring it down to the table a little bit, so you guys can kind of see a little bit of something anyhow. So Sag, this is going to be your weekly read, January 8th through the 14th. Sun, Moon, Rising, and your Venus cross watcher. If that's you, welcome to the channel as well, guys. Always discern the messages accordingly. Sag, pulled your card, and I'm sitting here taking it in, and what I heard was I always thought I could handle everything. You may be dealing with something that's breaking you down a little bit. So we're gonna pull cards, see what comes up. We'll go from there. But Spirit just said trying times. And or ahead, like, so we'll see. You know, this year has just gotten off to a weird start compared to the normal. Sag, I feel like you're kind of caught. It's like I don't know where to go. I don't know where to stay. Like, I don't know if I should stay or if I should go. Revolution and friction coming out. In the reverse position. I don't feel like you're fighting anything, but I also don't feel like you're changing anything either. Pardon me, my eyes itching. And then expectations on the bottom. I did a reading not long ago for a Sag friend, and I said to them, when 2024 is over, by the end of summer, nothing is going to look anything like you thought it would. And I felt like that was a collective statement, though. It wasn't just for that specific person. And I'm looking at this expectation, and listen, it's like information. Sag, I'm going to say to all of you, whatever you had put your faith into, well, I don't want to say what you put your faith into. I'm going to take that back. I'm going to retract that. Expect the unexpected this year in general. And I kind of feel like this not knowing where to go, what to do, what to say, what to do, you know, all that. Like here, go, stay, leave, I don't know. I feel like that's already starting to come up. This unknowing, like not sure to fight back or to hang on or to let go is coming in already. So we'll see. We'll see here how this plays out for you guys, okay? For Sag, please, Spirit, what does Sag need to know? January 8th through the 14th, please. What does Sag need to know? Oh my gosh, do you see these? I don't know if you can see that on the camera or not, the way these cards are flipping out. Look at that. That same card that was just on the bottom. You don't know what is happening in your world right now. Like everything could feel up in the air. Love, work, life, family, friends. Listen in space. Spirit's just saying, listen to your heart. And as they say that, the tune for Roxette's Listen to Your Heart, like we're showing my age here, right? It's not the, 1980 was like yesterday, right? That song, Roxette, Listen to Your Heart, is coming up. What is calling to you? Like this is, I'm going to say, I'll say this too. Sag, last year, I mean, I've been doing this for years, right? My clients of Sagittarius is really took off. Like, had a couple here and there before. A large part of my clients were Sagittarius this last year. Like, they all just kind of rolled in, you know, now they still are, but the ones I was working with, doing the healing and readings and things, you guys seem to, like, all of a sudden started to feel these shifts happening or these changes starting to take place, or questioning belief systems, or wanting to know more, diving into things. And I watched that transpire for your sign specifically from February of last year to current day. And I feel like last year was kind of like the introduction for you guys. That bigger movement was coming. It was starting to kind of prepare you to look at things a lot differently than what you thought they were going to be. Just checking it out, scoping it up, like, you know, that kind of thing. I don't think you know where to place what you want, where you're heading moving forward right now. It's kind of like they call it purgatory, if you will, right? Like, I can't even say it's deer caught in the headlights. Like, you guys are like, as my mother would say years ago, built like a brick shit house. You could take on anything. Now there's a lot of questions about how much you can take. Just when you thought things couldn't get worse, and I'm not saying they're going to get worse, Sag. What I'm saying is there's a new reality that's coming in for you. And just like I've seen with a lot of the signs, you're either gonna move with it and be in flow, or you're gonna fight that. And some of you might stand still for a while because you don't know what this means. You don't know what to do with an energy that's taking place in your world right now. And Spirit keeps going, introduction. This is just the intro to what you're awakening to. You could also have, Spirit is saying, somebody around you that is a catalyst for this awakening experience as well. It's requiring you to listen to your heart. It's requiring you to finally maybe sit. If you're a talker, and I have a lot of Sages in my life, I love them all. They're talkers, which is cool, right? But I think you're being asked to listen now. You've done enough talking. Now it's time to be that Page of Swords. Listening is part of communication. It's like Spirit sitting you down and saying, we're opening a new book. This isn't even a new chapter. This is a whole new way. Very interesting energy, Sag. I am going to pull a little, that was just all like I got the chills on this expectation card. The way that thing came out there, man, it was flying. I need to go back and look at the video to see if I can see it flip up on the camera. What is this? Nine of Wands, that wounded warrior, right? Been here, done that. Want to get through it. Nine of Pentacles. You know, you guys have really built yourself up from a place of the past, right? Of a lot of hard times, troubles, turmoil. You've had to be a warrior to get to where you are. And I feel like it's been invested in your stability or your finances, you know, your tangible world more than it has been anything else. What we're lacking here is cup energy, emotional energy. What else with this expectation, Spirit? What else? Nine of Wands, Nine of Swords, Sag. 10 of Swords. I feel like somebody's trying to give to you. I think for a long time you were the giver. You may suck at receiving. Now you're going to have to be the receiver. The receiver of the lessons, the receiver of words, experiences. Nine of Wands, Nine of Swords, 10 of Swords. This is the end of a particular book or story in your life. This is pain, this is hurt, this is betrayal, this is sleepless nights, this is anger, this is frustration, this is worry, this is a culmination of probably things, Sag, that you haven't really looked at in a long time. If if ever, with particular situations. And you know, a friend of mine, they just got a tattoo the other day, and she had words put on it, and it said the only way, I think it's, the only way out is to go through it, or something to that effect. I can't remember the exact wording. And whether or not you know this, on the other side of whatever this is starting for you, there is peace. Sag, there's some major lessons that are about to take place for you. And I don't even know, because it's going to be so different for all of you, I don't even know that I can prepare you guys on an individual basis, because it's going to be so different. The experience will be so different for all of you. How this is going to play out. Like, your faith in yourself you're going to question it. Your faith in maybe a higher power is going to be questioned. The faith that you've had in maybe a tradition, belief system, cultures, conditioning, you're going to question it. There's no way around this. You're going to have to go through it, because it's setting you up for an awakening that right now it feels really hard already, like you don't know what to do, but to kind of stand still. And there's more of this to come. Whatever has pulled at your heartstrings recently, know that that's where I can pinpoint it to this for you. Or whatever it is that has pulled at your heartstrings recently, whatever that has made you feel emotional, it's going to pertain to that area of your life. So if it's been finances that's made you emotional, look at your finances. If it's been relationships, look at your relationships. If it's been the way you see yourself, look at yourself. This is a mass opportunity for immense healing. And it's coming no matter what. 12:12 on the clock, a second ago there. All right, Sag, let's dive a little deeper here. We're already 12 minutes into this. All right, Spirit, for Sag, January 8th through the 14th. Give me your stability, your security, Sag, the root basis of who you are. The Envy card. I just heard, I've been through this too many times. Like, how do I come out of this ahead of it? How do I get ahead of what's happening? And I feel like, Sag, like you've always hit the ground running. You've always had your feet to the floor. Gone, right? You don't know how the hell this is going to turn out in the positive for you in the long run. And it's like, again, I'm going back to foundations. For a weekly read, this is getting pretty deep, but this is what they're giving me, so that's where we're going. Like, I'm always going to give you what Spirit gives me, regardless. This is the structures, the foundations, the bottom of that tower that gets built. How stable is it? Are your beliefs really your own beliefs? Because with this Envy, the Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Swords, and the Ten of Swords, with anxiety popping up, what you thought was happiness, your expectation, what you thought was success, it doesn't lay in that anymore. Or you're starting to realize there's something about it that doesn't work. There's cracks in the foundation of this. It's affecting your root, your home, your constructs of the way you operate. Probably a thinking pattern with this Nine of Swords and anxiety. That you are becoming, you will become, put it that way, you will become and come into a state of unconditioning. You will not be the same person by August that you are right now. There's no way around this. And as I tell everybody, you can either get on board with what Spirit is guiding you to, or you're going to make the lessons on yourself even harder than they need to be as a result of this. They're asking me to give you guys one more card. What ties this together? What I say about your emotions, right? Man holding a heart. Some of you could be being triggered by a masculine male or masculine energy, in your life right now, another 9, so 9, actually you have 4 9s on the table, Sag. So 99, 99 could be very important. 5 underneath the bottom there, Angel of Strength. Like it's a card of Leo for me, for you guys. I said this is going to be an emotional, where your emotions lie, because that's where you're going to have the most strength and the most courage. You're going to have to dig up, it's like digging up bones, right? To get to the root of the matter. And you're going to, lots of reds here. Your passion, your desires, are they healthy? Because I feel like with the Ten of Swords, it's kind of like a betrayal of the self. With this, you know, she doesn't have the 10 swords in her back, but she's turned away from certain things. She's walked away from certain things, and she's looking on to like the next best thing. 1551, reflective energy of the devil right there. Self-sabotage, restraints, constrictions, addictions, codependency, toxicity, negative thought patterns, negative way of being. She's turned her back to certain things. And it's like, but have you reviewed what has been toxic, what has been hurtful, what has been painful for you? This isn't somebody else that stuck these swords in her back. She's turned her back to things. Have you turned your back away from love? Have you turned your back against empathy and sympathy? Have you turned away from compassion and love because it's scary, it's fearful, keeps you up at night? Did you do something that created upheaval for yourself? I've been seeing a shit ton come in about accountability since December too, Sag. And it's like, that's where you need to look, okay? I hope this is making sense for you guys. I haven't even clarified yet. We're 17 minutes into this. Okay. Let's see. One for each. Okay. First chakra, Spirit. What is this first chakra about for Sag? Split the deck. Karmic lessons, Sag. I'm telling you. Like, I hate to get like so super deep in a weekly reading, but here it is. There is... I said dig deep. The resurrection of the things that you have buried are now coming to light. The things that you have chosen not to deal with. And I'm steadfast in my heart and my gut that says, this is emotional shit. This is emotional baggage. This is emotional pain, betrayal, hurt, refusing to look at the emotions. They are being brought to the surface so you can close this out and move on and move forward. I said, this is the end, not of a chapter. This is the end of a book. This isn't the 10 of the minor arcanas. This is complete closure. That is the book. The majors are the book. It's like a picture book. Flip from the Fool, the whole way of the world card. 10 of Swords, you know, the aces to the 10s and the minor. They're the everyday life. This is fated and destined. You've got 2 major arcanas that are that of fate and destiny. There it is. It is being resurrected for you to clean up, whether you like it or not. Okay? And I'm sorry if I'm like beating on you guys, but it's like, been there, done that, right? I've seen that side of it through the healing process. Like, don't avoid it, because if you do, shit's gonna get crazy. All right? First chakra. Knight of Pentacles. Okay, I said you've got to be open to receive, right? Knight of Pentacles, 5 of Swords, King of Swords. You're reacting from a place of mentally staying ahead of other things. You give just enough to present yourself as stable. You give just enough to present yourself some new opportunities, and then it's like you stop. Like, you might start to invest into something and then you stop. It's like, oh, I'm going to go back to school, and you go off to the admissions office and you start making plans and you set up your classes and you get through the first 2 weeks and you're like, I'm busy. I can't finish this 9 weeks, right? So you stop. You start it, but you don't finish it. Procrastination. finding an excuse to move at the pace of a turtle, snail even. It's like you started, but you don't finish it. You can't ever have, so think about this. Like if you're at home and you got a bunch of projects started, you know, you're working on maybe building some new steps, the dryer's pulled out because it needs a new plug, the counter or the cabinet door fell off of the kitchen cabinet. It's like you've got all these projects started. Shit's a mess. You can't look around your house without seeing shit's in disarray. You got to go back and start to clean things up, right? And this is kind of like everything that you've started and not finished, it's coming up now. It's requiring your attention. It is getting you up in your head because you're realizing all these various things that you've not completed, whether these are emotional, physical, mentally, whatever it was for you. Whatever has been started and not completed is like screaming at you. You're putting burdens on yourself. You're sabotaging. I'm like, well, that's just enough, right? 3, that's enough. Like, I'm just going to take this 3 and go. What about the other 2? Those guys had their asses whooped. They don't need those 2 anymore. What about the other 2? Just enough to get by. What is this man holding heart? You can't make it up. You guys see me shuffle on this camera. Like, I know the angle wasn't perfect for the table. It come right back out. Man holding heart, you are cutting yourself off from your emotions. It is like, they're there. I'm not going to pay attention to I'm not going to pay attention to them. Underneath the King of Pentacles, I'm going to focus on my finances. I'm going to tell you something that I told Scorpio, and there's a couple other signs too I've noticed. Your money's good, or your emotions are good, your money's good. If your money's good and your emotions are off, it's like the 2 tend to kind of go hand in hand, because when you feel good, you find the passion, the desire, that fire energy that you are, Sag, at 22 on the clock. You find that passion, you find that fire, then you're able to take that and you're able to incorporate it in the things that you're doing, which then gives you the desire, the willpower, the confidence to keep moving, because something is igniting that within you. Instead of looking at all these other parts and you're like, why is my money affected? Why is my stability affected? Why are these things falling short for me? They all work hand in hand, Sag. They all have to work together. You can't just focus on one area of life and expect everything else to fall into place when you're not putting in the work. And I'm not trying to give you, hand you guys your asses. Know that I'm telling you, like, I'm here to help you, never ever to harm you in any capacity. You've got to look at the big picture. It's not just right now. It's not just in this moment. It's not just that one thing. It's the big picture. And then every day you work towards that. Even the smallest, right? But this whole idea of I give just enough to get by is not enough. Okay? It's like a level of procrastination, regardless of what it is. What is this envy card about? Justice, that of Libra. You could be dealing with a Libra, doesn't have to be. But I guarantee you. Oh boy. Sag, there you are, King of Wands. The Emperor, the Five of Cups, the Hangman, the Empress. Master divine pairing right there. 9 of Wands popping out again. I'm taking these guys. You've got the Justice card and the 8 of Swords when it comes to the Envy card. It's just this idea that something, and I'm going to say there's more than one situation in your life. Something just wasn't fair. Like, I didn't get a say. I didn't get to decide. I didn't get to rule on how this went. Something kind of got pulled out from underneath you, Sag. And whatever it is, you're trying to, focus on other things to keep yourself from having to look at it. You're keeping yourself wrapped up. in it by not addressing it. And Justice is, you're forced to deal with whatever this is. You're going to have to, I feel like you guys try to sit in the positive, the fun, the excitement of things. But Spirit is saying you're going to have to look at the dark too. You can't avoid it. It sucks, but you can't avoid what hurts. Masculines, and I've heard this before about Sagittarius, and I see it here. In whatever area of life, and I'm not knocking anybody, in which your father figure, whatever, or whomever, that could be grandfather, father, stepfather, whomever, was in your life, what did they lack? Because you're probably lacking the same thing. And I'm going to tell you, for the majority of you that are struggling right now, it's the emotions. 5 of Cups. Got Sag energy, Aries energy, Pisces, Taurus, Libra, Scorpio, Libra again, Leo. Got a whole mixed bag of shit here, Sag. What I think is very interesting is somebody here in a particular situation that you're dealing with, you're being forced to mature. You're being forced to leave that King of Wands and become the Emperor. Masculines. Feminines. You could be dealing with constraint issues from a masculine energy. They tend to want to control, dominate a situation. You're not having it. That's finding your own power. It's stepping into your own power, finding the strength to finally go no. Because you're stressing me out. You're worrying me to death. I'm not going to do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I'm tired. I'm worn out. I'm stressed. I can't breathe. I feel like I'm being smothered. This again, and I seen this pop up for you mid-November. That divine masculine and that divine feminine energy. And it's both sides of that is, I have to heal the heart space. There's something around the emotionality of situations in your world that have not yet been dealt with that you're going to have to. Feminines, I'm going to say abandonment issues. Masculine, your father figures. Again, where did they lack? And I'm going to tell you that it has to do with the emotional. I'm going to repeat that. They may have been wonderful fathers or father figures, but they weren't emotional. They didn't give that love and support. Not the way that you needed it. They could have been in certain ways. Maybe they showed up at every baseball game, right? Daughters, maybe they showed up at every dance recital, every band practice. But how emotional were they? Doesn't mean they were bad fathers. Doesn't mean they were a bad representation of that. But what did they lack? Were they really good at being providers and failed at the, as they failed but weren't so great at the emotions? Were they great intellectual people, very smart and helped you succeed, but they weren't real emotional, or they didn't provide a whole lot of stability? Really got to think about that. But this is rooted in the roots, in your foundations. And it's requiring healing. Said you're going to keep seeing this. Spirit said every 2 months you're going to keep seeing this. This is something you are going to be working through. And Spirit told me to tell you to make sure to let you know that I will guide you through it to the best of my ability. Thank you, Spirit. But know this is what's coming. All right? You guys. I love you. I do. My golly. All right. Self-indulgence. When I say, what have you, is it alcohol, food, habits, patterns, routines, a way of thinking, a way of being? This is about your self-worth and value, time to heal, the shadow work, and self-appreciation. What is it that you're attracted to that's unhealthy? What is it about these things? Like this, I'm going to tell you, and I said this not long ago to somebody else, the Sagittarius, right? Your self-worth. You can show yourself to be confident, but do you value yourself? Do you love yourself? Are you willing to look at the dark parts of yourself and forgive those things? Because that is what is being brought to the surface. Part of that resurrection, of that judgment in that world card. These things are coming. That's the shadow work. And it's going to push you to make these changes and learn how to love yourself. What else for Sag here, Spirit, please? What else here for Sag? They just said you got to stop talking. I don't know what that's about. Stop talking. If you're arguing with somebody, learn just to stop. Just listen. Just be a listener. Butterfly, evolving and growth, next phase, healing the inner child, releasing the past. I'm telling you, do the shadow work, you get to the point that you can evolve. You get to the point that you release the past. You're healing those inner wounds. Your inner child reading will be coming out. Cutting ties, moving on, receiving what you need, progression, and arriving. Sag, you're going to go through this one way or another. Fight it, love it, hate it, whatever, but it's coming. You're going through a metamorphosis. It's just all there is to it. 3113 on the clock. Those numbers could be important to you. Hammer, sabotage, rebuild, persistent, working on it and repair. Stop going back at things that don't work. If it didn't work the first 15 times, that's the, definition of insanity, right? You keep going back to the same thing, doing the same thing over and expecting a different result. It doesn't work. It did come out sideways though. You've got to make a change in how you're moving, Sag. You can't pretend. You can't rock around in a facade forever going, yeah, I'm great. Never better. Whether it's by way of your spirit saying, by the way you look, your health, your mental clarity, your sleeping patterns, like you can tell everybody that you're fine, but the people closest to you know that you're not. And you could just say, I ain't slept good in 3 days, and they're gonna know instantly, like, shit's going south. You're not gonna be able to hide it. You guys are good at putting that mask on, right? And funny, there it is. Good at putting that mask on and pretending that everything is cool, calm, and collected. But underneath the surface, the shit's bubbling up like a volcano. It's time to work your way through it. Get a therapist, listen to some podcasts, get a reading, pray, meditate, be silent, purge, cleanse the body. But you're going to have to work through this. There is no way. The aspects of you that have lacked what you've needed for so long have played out in your adult life. You're not here for that. 3333 on the clock. You're here to grow and evolve. Let it happen. Saggy, I did not take this much time on any other weekly read. But again, if I feel you need it, I'm going to give it. So there you go. Other signs have had longer readings when you've had shorter ones. So it is what it is. Sag, I hope this message helps you. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what's going on in your world if you want to share. It's always greatly appreciated. I appreciate your trust and faith in me and openness with me. If you guys need a reading, I'm not trying to sell it, but if you need direction by Lord, feel free to reach out to me. Even though I don't have them set up yet for the calendar, shoot me an email. It's in the description box below in the About section of the page. Work through this shit. Don't let it fester. Don't let it become worse. But here it is. Like, you're gonna have to face this. So, all right. I'm sending you love, light. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon.